Now, on a special edition of KGW News, the growing impact of the nation's longest government shutdown, with some federal workers on the job through 2 missed paychecks.
Hopefully everyone can get where they need to be for the holidays, but hopefully they get paid to help us get there.
Plus, how a Hillsborough teen is using his viral moment to help others in the immigrant community fearful of the Trump administration's crackdown.
We have always found a way to push through it, but as of recent times, it's been the worst it's ever been.
And thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of KGW News. I'm John Adams. It's day 39 of the government shutdown, and today 15 flights going in and out of PDX were canceled. More than 1,000 flights were canceled nationally, and the U.S. Transportation Secretary says more cuts are on the way if the shutdown doesn't end soon. Jake Holter went to the airport to see how the Port of Portland is trying to ease the pain of federal workers.
2 donation bins are now set up in the new main terminal for folks to donate non-perishables and household essentials to the impacted workers.
Well, it's really a shame that it has to get to that point.
I think it's a shame that we need them in the first place.
Passengers at PDX reacting to the airport's new donation bins for federal workers. Air traffic controllers and TSA agents have now gone nearly a month without pay.
I can't even imagine. Most people, I think, in this country are only a paycheck or 2 away from being homeless ourselves, and then here's people going through a month without pay and still showing up to work. That's a level of dedication and fidelity that you just can't expect, really.
And I said we should have brought a card for them. I wonder how we could do that. And she told me, put it in the mail. I said, of course. Yeah. But we didn't know there were donation bins, so that's nice to see that. Oh, yes. Yeah, so when we come back, we could leave something.
The donation bins set up by the Port of Portland are located pre-security by the stadium stairs in the new main terminal. Non-perishable foods and household essentials are the items being requested. Cash, clothing, and anything used will not be accepted.
This is a hard time to go without. It's very important that people do donate to these things, and I'm glad they exist.
In Colorado, the city of Denver has put forth a proposal to pay their air traffic controllers themselves. However, the Port of Portland tells us there is, quote, no existing mechanism that allows them to pay any federal employees working at PDX.
They've been working overtime with no pay, and we really rely on them for safety.
In response to the safety concerns, earlier this week, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced that 10% of flight traffic would be cut at the nation's 40 busiest airports.
We're trying to prevent the pressure that we now see building in the system.
Some worried about what it could mean if the government is still shut down over the holidays.
And hopefully everyone can get where they need to be for the holidays, but hopefully they get paid to help us get there.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
The Senate held a rare Saturday session aimed at finding a way to end the government shutdown. On Friday, Senate Democrats voted to block a bill that would pay federal workers during the shutdown. They're blocking attempts to reopen until Republicans agree to a 1-year extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits. Today, President Trump said he is unlikely to compromise with Democrats. And we continue to track the fight over SNAP benefits. On Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an emergency order temporarily blocking a lower court decision which required the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits for some 42 million Americans. However, some states, including Oregon, have already sent out the money for benefits. Here's how this all unfolded. After a federal judge made the ruling, an appeals court declined to immediately step in. So Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued an order that paused the requirement until the appeals court can figure things out. The Trump administration, now on day 40 of a government shutdown, argued that it doesn't want to spend more money than it has available in a contingency fund. Meanwhile, Oregon leaders say benefits have gone out and there will be no clawbacks. We'll continue to keep you posted.
I'm scared for my parents to walk out their house because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work.
A Hillsborough teen's passionate plea for help at a city council meeting on Tuesday night has reached millions of people on social media and is spurring change. Now, Manny Chavez is using his moment in the spotlight to help families in the community who have been impacted by ICE agents.
We are getting treated like animals because people judge us by the color of our skin and the way that we talk.
That's 14-year-old Manny Chavez addressing Hillsborough City Council on Tuesday. Members of the community spent hours that evening sharing testimony about the impact ICE is having in the area.
I'm tired of telling my mom and dad every day after school that, have you seen the new video of ICE pulling someone over because the color of their skin? I'm tired of everything.
Manny tells us he didn't even plan to speak that night, but was moved by others that spoke before him.
The very next day I saw had over like 100,000 views, and then it just kept going on and on from there.
Manny's testimony has now been viewed millions of times online. Stories like his have inspired city leaders to make changes.
My proposal is focused more on a long-term solution and not a short-term band-aid.
Hillsborough City Councilor Christian Salgado introduced a plan on Tuesday night to create a civil and human rights office within the city.
I believe that if we show to the world that we're willing to invest in civil and human rights at the city of Hillsborough, that's going to influence the way that ICE operates in our city.
And every Latin or Hispanic person, no matter if they have citizenship, they've been getting harassed for no reason.
Since his viral city council moment, Manny started a GoFundMe page to raise money for people in the community impacted by ICE. Donors have given nearly $13,000 in just 2 days.
Being known as someone that spoke up for the community is pretty cool.
And earlier this week, Washington County Commissioners issued an emergency declaration freeing up $200,000 to go to organizations helping the immigrants in the community. All right, turning now to weather. It was a gorgeous fall day with bright, sunny skies to match the fall foliage across the Pacific Northwest. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri has more on what's in store for the rest of the weekend. Joe, just how long can we expect to see these conditions sticking around?
Well, I can tell you this much, John. We're going to be staying bone dry a good portion all weekend, but all the way into basically the later part of next week. So thanks in part to the ridge of high pressure. And here's that ridge of right now that's going to be developing over the next couple of days. There is a system out here in the Pacific that could be bringing in some light showers along the northern Oregon coast, potentially into Monday. But for the most part, we're going to be dry over the next couple of days. We're already looking at above average amounts of rainfall. And earlier today, we were above average for our daytime highs. Tomorrow, though, there will be some areas of dense fog and even some patchy areas of fog here locally in the metro area, but more prevalent as you get out of the downtown area. I think there'll be more dense fog throughout the central and southern part of the Willamette Valley. Staying dry, we will have those high wispy clouds tomorrow. It's not going to be all sunshine, but it will be very windy the closer you get into the Columbia River Gorge. It's going to be dry over the next couple of days as well. Tomorrow, areas of fog to start things off, but daytime highs in the low 60s, so just above average for the early part of November. We'll talk more about your detailed forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, we'll see you soon. Thank you. We have a health alert tonight over the outbreak investigation of infant botulism. The FDA says certain lots of By Heart Whole Nutrition infant formula may have been infected. It's after more than a dozen cases were reported in 10 states, including one in Oregon and one in Washington. If you see either of one of those lot numbers on the bottom of your can, toss it out right away. Multnomah County Animal Services is calling on the community to visit and adopt a pet. They say the Troutdale facility is over capacity with dogs, with intake outpacing adoptions. Right now, Animal Services is not able to take any surrenders. They're asking those in the foster program to reach out to possibly take in a dog temporarily to help out with capacity. The Red Cross is working to save lives ahead of the holidays. Volunteers gathered for the Sound the Alarm event, where roughly 40 homeowners in Portland's Maywood Park and Park Rose neighborhoods had them installed today. The Red Cross says this campaign has helped save more than 2,500 lives since it was first launched in October 2014.
This time of the year is super vital because this is when home fires really increase, because people are plugging in their space heaters, people are cooking more at home for the holidays, so home fires increase. And we know that on average in the months of November and December we respond to about 120 home fires. So that's about a 20% increase to our normal cadence.
You can sign up to get your free smoke alarm by going to redcross.org/homefire.
John, the 9th ranked Oregon Ducks were pushed to the limit, shorthanded, tough conditions, tough opponent, but the Ducks keep their college football playoff hopes alive thanks to a last-minute clutch performance, and a player out of Portland is the hero. Highlights and reaction from another thriller coming up in sports.